Hey, friends, just wanted to welcome you into the Voice in the Wilderness office and give you a few updates in this unedited version
Uh-oh.
of what God is doing around the world. Just wanted to give you a few insider look at what
A
we're doing.
what?
An insider look.
You got a little tongue twisted there, didn't you?
I sure did.
Okay. Unedited. Continue.
Just an insider look
Okay.
at what is happening around here on a
Mhm.
daily and weekly basis at the Voice office.
We are busy, believe it or not, every day.
Every day. There's always something going on.
Right.
With you,
Mm-hmm.
you do the homeschooling with the girls on a daily basis.
Yes, we homeschool. We're busy up early every morning getting 7th grade and 1st grade done this year.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
And Abby Noel's in her semester exams right now.
She is. We've already been working ahead of schedule because of our travel times, and so she's ready for Christmas break. They've been singing Christmas carols.
Yeah.
doing semester exams.
Yeah, that's always fun listening to Christmas before Thanksgiving.
That's right. We love it.
No.
Yes. Okay, moving right along.
So what have you been doing this week around the office?
So in between all the homeschooling, then I do most of the computer work, all the emails and correspondence and answering the phones, and then any kind of graphic design and layout. Those projects are always piling up on top of everything that we're doing around here, trying to get things ready to print. So like our latest thing has been, it's right up here, the Thanks living during this giving season, preparing your heart with selected inspirational readings. So, the voice is 70 years in ministry time. And so there's been a lot printed in 70 years. So we took the best of the Thanksgiving and Christmas articles, poems, some things written by Brother Royce, our founder, some things written by Dad, Dr. Ronnie Williamson, other things that we just found along the way, some podcasts and things like that we've done over time.
So have you been taking Brother Royce's stuff that he wrote in the 1970s and 80s and been putting it online? Or what have you been doing?
So we have huge file drawers of the archive copies of The Voice in the Wilderness that have been printed since, the 60s and 70s. So it's my great blessing and privilege to be able to go back and reread all of those articles and things like that and find the best articles, the ones that might apply to people today, because of course The Voice always did news bits and things like that were more of a current nature. But then we have sermons and poems and lots of different resources that pastors like to use in their sermons and things like that.
Yeah, I know there have been times that we've looked at some of those older voices and looked at them and said, hey, that is something for today. It's kind of like God's word is timeless, right?
It is. It is really amazing.
And using that as our source, contending for fundamental Christianity, using the Bible as our source.
Right.
Some of those things that Brother Royce wrote back in the 70s and 80s.
We need to hear it today.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes. So we're going through all of those. And this year, we've been able to put in archive format online through our website, where you can click on the teaching menu and then click archives. And there's now nearly 100 of those really great articles that were in print that are now online and available for people to read and use.
Yeah, that's good. And I know we've had several projects lately. Like the Cherokee John.
Yeah, there you go.
The Cherokee John. That's been completed, and now the Johns are on the reservations and heading out west.
Did you know that Dad and Mom just went over to Cherokee the other day to check and see if they needed to resupply some of the racks and things like that? And it has just been amazing, the reception of those people over in Cherokee, North Carolina, to receive John in their own language, wanting the refills.
And Brother Ronnie may have the opportunity to go over there on a monthly basis and teach out of the Gospel of John to the kids after school.
We're waiting to hear back on that.
So that's an opportunity. Pray for that if you would.
Pray for that.
And next we're looking at, the Navajo language?
Right, the Navajo language. We're not really ready to share all the details on that project yet. it really needs a lot of prayer and is very much needed. And it kind of falls right now where we are on my shoulders because there's some specific computer work that needs doing.
Right.
And I've got to figure out how to do it.
So if any of you out there have any computer knowledge,
oh my goodness,
that
yes,
could share the information, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, with foreign languages, have you ever tried to read a foreign language? You know, we just finished the Hindi translation of Brother Royce's study of the book of Revelation. And as I put some of that in the computer and saw the Hindi, I thought, oh, look at this language. I hope this is right because I have no idea how to read Hindi. But that was an amazing project.
Brother Royce started this ministry 70 years ago.
Right.
In 1953.
Mm-hmm.
He was a unique guy, wasn't he?
Right, absolutely. Never married.
And we did put a booklet together about his life.
Right, autobiography, and that's one of the posts on the blog that I just put on, so now, you can see pictures of Brother Royce.
There's one thing, because he and Sophie Muller, those were two great people that God used over 50, 60, 70 years.
Missionary in Venezuela, along the Colombia-Venezuela River region.
But both of their stories that we either had the permission to print or we own to print, both of those are now out of stock.
They are out of print, especially since COVID. Printing got really backlogged, and a lot of paper prices went up, some even tripling. In the meantime, we just kept giving and giving and giving of our supply. The Voice in the Wilderness over the years has never really charged or sold books. We do ask for an offering to help us cover printing costs. And
so just an idea of a printing cost for like Brother Royce's book, which is really not all that thick.
Right.
But it costs us about, what, $8, $10 to produce that, right?
Right. It really depends upon the thickness. The Sophie books have gone in that price range. And then if we narrow it down a little smaller, we might could even do a book for $4 or $5. Right. But it also depends upon the quantity of those books that we print. Thankfully, we do have a Christian printer who is willing to work with us and try to get us the best rate possible.
So speaking of Sophie, her heart was in the jungles of Colombia and Venezuela. And I know Dad and I had a privilege earlier this year, Dad being Brother Ronnie, for those of you who don't know. Brother Ronnie and I had the privilege this year to go down to Colombia and visit with some of the Indians who either knew Sophie personally or their parents knew Sophie.
Right.
But remember, just a reminder to the folks, about, 15, 20 years ago, the American missionaries were kicked out of the jungle. And so the jungle work on the Venezuela side closed down, and then the Voice started working with some of the churches in the cities.
Right.
And we've seen the Lord do some amazing thing in those city churches.
Amazing stories. We're going to come back another day and tell you those stories, but it's just incredible. And now we're still able to help with some of the printing of the scriptures. We're able to mail some of those down. One of the men just received that box the other day.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yes, he did.
And one of the things that they have a lack of down there is children material.
Yes, and in the pictures he sent,
my goodness,
we had put some lollipops and things like that for the children, for them to hand out along with the scriptures, and he took pictures of the children with their little lollipops, and oh wow, what
so I know we've sent down what we call mobile Bible bags there for many years.
Yes.
When we started doing it, it cost probably about $300 to do that,
to load it up with the supplies
and send it down. But now that price has increased to about $1,000.
Yeah, it's really tripled in shipping costs.
Because mostly it's because of shipping costs, but also because of the printing cost of these materials as well has gone up.
And these are things that they cannot get in their country. Nobody is printing those children's song visuals and all kinds of things like that. So they really need them.
They need those things. And so I know, just, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, Brother Ronnie and I met with a man, and he gave us a pallet full of John and Romans in Spanish. And so we're praying for those to be able to go down there and be used in Colombia or Venezuela or some Latin American speaking country.
So we've got scriptures to ship, we've got mobile Bible bags to prepare and ship, and those are going to be probably $1,000 or more. So we really need some partners to come along and help us with the finances, because people are waiting for these things, and boy, they are such strong in evangelism
They
and
are.
great soul winners.
They go out on a daily basis just about.
As soon as we send the shipments down there, they are unpacking those, sending us pictures that they've gotten them, and then they just go out in the street and the children come by the scores and gather around and they can begin to teach them. It is an awesome ministry.
It's amazing to watch these people be used. And so we know of one church that was started out with like 90 folks, has grown over to about 3,000 or 4,000 now in one of the city churches. But you know,
there's just a lot.
Well, let's bring it back here to the United States. So what is our next steps and projects? I know we got the Cherokee and the Navajo.
Right, Cherokee and Navajo, and then like we mentioned, the Sophie book and Brother Royce's story, which is awesome. Go online and read his story about being a veteran and his missions travels. We've got to get all those things really reprinted, and really all of our resources, our brochures. What are we calling those now? The pulpit
pamphleteers.
There you go.
Say that 5 times
That's
fast.
right. We'll get that one day. The pulpit pamphleteer ministry. All of those things are really in desperate need of reprinting. We just went to a church the other day and we packed this little box because our supply was so low, we didn't have much, and we laid it out on the table, and man, the people were wanting the books and the materials, truth or myth, the truth about the Confederate flag, the battle flag issue, and all that.
Tweety Pie's Constitution
book, and the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And we were wiped out at that table. And so now we've come back, which is great with even less resources, but we've got to have the finances to reprint those for a new year of travel.
So it's one of those things that is constantly being done.
Right.
Is getting it printed and then getting it updated.
Right. We really need some help. We could even use some remote assistance. If somebody has access to a computer and you're good at typing and transcribing, posting things online for us, and getting all these resources out to people and available, we have an office full 70 years worth, yes, I know, of things piled up around here that we really need to get out. But
well, because the Voice has been contending for fundamental Christianity and American freedoms.
Right, and we need that today, don't we?
So if we're going to continue doing this, I think we are.
Yes.
I think we ought to have a name for what we call
you mean this update time?
Update time. Yeah. So what should we call it?
Behind the Voice.
Oh no! Come on.
The Voice Speaks.
The Voice Speaks, or a visual voice, or a learning. No, I don't know.
We can talk.
Yeah, there you go.
We don't just print. We talk.
How about you guys comment below?
We'll let them comment,
and you guys can help us come up with a name for this.
Okay.
And then maybe even a time frame of how long you'd like to see it.
Right. Yeah, because have we been talking too long? I wonder how long this has been, right? 10 minutes?
Probably.
We probably need to keep it to 5 or
2
or
30 seconds.
Right. I'm sure you're done by now. But until next time, how about we just end it the way Tweety Pie does on her podcast? Have you been listening to those?
Those are good.
Yeah.
So she says,
stay alert and in the Bible. See ya.